Okay guys, we're not doing no intro, we're just gonna go straight into it. Today we're gonna be reviewing the newest launch scan tool, and there's been many of you. I've had a lot of requests asking me to review this scan tool. So many of you have been asking about this because you wanted to buy it. This is the Launch CRP919X BT, which it says on the side there. This is Launch's newest, more affordable scan tool that you can buy. Now, if you remember, I did the CRP919E, and that one literally needed a cable to connect to the car. They've now made the CRP919X, which is not only Bluetooth compatible, it does coding. I think it's 2 years lifetime free updates, and the price of it is actually really, really good and affordable. So like I said, we're gonna open it up, we're gonna review it today. It has not been used, so I'm gonna have to set up the whole tablet when it comes on. You guys will see that, because if I'd used it, wouldn't be able to set it up. We'll get it out, show everything that's inside it, what it comes with, then I'll plug it up to the BM, and we'll be able to see all its features and functions it actually has. And obviously I'll link it in my comment box below and in my description for many of you guys to go and check it out and buy it, because it is an affordable scan tool for many. So let's just open it all up. Now, obviously I did cut the sticker to make sure everything was as it seemed when we got it, but this is the scan tool. So we'll just open it all up. And you can see there inside, scan tool, and we'll open up the case here and see what's inside here. So spin it around. So inside, you've got your cables. You've got your Bluetooth VCI box right here. You've also got your charger for the tablet system. So that's everything in there, that's what it comes with. We've obviously got your activation serial number here as well. As I always tell many of you guys, do remember that. There's your activation serial code that you're gonna need to. You can see I haven't activated it because I ain't even opened the serial thing yet to activate it. There's a code inside that you've got to activate against serial number. So we're gonna have to get that out to be able to activate the product. So we'll just go ahead and open this up and get the tablet out. Now, like I said, I haven't used this one. So you can see there as well, still got a sticker on it. Not even sure how to turn this one on. Not here, on the side here. So you can see there, it's got an on-off button. These are probably to plug in USB ports and whatever else. On the top there, it has got a nice rugged feel. It's got a camera on there as well to be able to take pictures. So I've got to say, it is quite heavy for such a small scan tool. It's quite a heavy unit and solid, but we'll go ahead and turn it on. I'm not going to peel that sticker off. We'll see how it loads up, so you guys get to see it as well. The screen's nice and bright, a lot more brightly coloured than others I've used. This one's really, really bright. Don't know why that is, but we'll have a look and see how it all loads up. It might work straight out of the box, it might not, who knows. I haven't turned it on to find out, but it's going to ask me to log in with an account, register it, download all the updates as it does, and you can see it's a Creator Professional. So from the other ones, and obviously you've got intelligent diagnosis here, local diagnosis. You've got all the functions you'd see on the Launch scan tool. See if we click software update, it asks for our username and our password. So I'm just going to go in and fill that out, and I need to connect to a Wi-Fi network as well. I'm going to have to take the sticker off, even though I didn't want to, because otherwise I can't see to do the Wi-Fi. So that's going to have to come off. I'm going to have to do the Wi-Fi, enter an account, and sort it all out, and then we'll come back on the video. So as you can see here, I've now managed to log in, but it's asking me to activate the VCI. So to do that, we're going to have to enter the serial number and the activation code to do that. So we're going to have to get that out of the packet. So this is the activation code you're going to need when you first get the product, and you're going to have to open it up, and everyone's code is different. So do bear that in mind. Not everyone's code is the same. And you have to enter the product serial number, which will be up here, which you'll see right there when I enter it, 9888. Sorry, 988 684 054 353, and then the activation code will be inside in this booklet right here that you need to be careful not to rip, which is right here, which will be, that's the activation code right there on the right. So we'll now go ahead and activate that. So it's 5531 92844. Then you just click activate. And because it's online now, it should do it all. So you can see that's my name right there. Then it'll get the information. And now it will bring up any latest updates. So you can see there, I can do update immediately because all of them are waiting. So you can see here, this is all the updates when you do the firmware upgrade for the program, all the video scope, everything which is on here. So you can see all the different updates going to take place, all the different things, all different car manufacturers and everything. So once this is done, we'll come back on the video because this can take a while to do. It's going to be going on and off, but this is what you guys will have to do when you first get yours as well, to make sure everything's up to date, so you've got all the latest features and functions, or any corrections that the manufacturer saw that wasn't correct, they would update in the next update. So do make sure to always do the updates before you progress to using the tool. Obviously you can use a tool straight away, but then if you're missing a function that you thought it had, it could be on the latest update. So I wouldn't recommend using it if you bought this for a particular function and then it ain't doing it because you haven't updated it. So you see how easy it is to really do. Just make sure you've got a launch account. If you've got other launch products, your launch account will work with all the others, just like mine did. So you can see now it's all updating. Once that's done, we'll come back on the video. So you can see here it's just finishing up all its updates, and it's done it quite quick. There isn't really many left to do. Mercedes is obviously taking the longest to install, but the majority of them have already installed already successfully. So I'm only waiting on probably 1, 2, and 3 to finish. And once they finish, we can get to using it. I'll show you how to install the VCI and how to plug all that up and be able to use it. But overall, this is done really, really quick. So that's a good thing for this scan tool. When you get it, it's not going to take all day to install all of the updates. So that's something you guys won't have to worry about because they installed really, really quickly. But bearing in mind it's new, so there isn't that much. And you can see here, it's all been successfully updated. So we'll just do continue update to make sure there's no other things that need to be updated, which there's now not. So that means we can now get straight to using it. So we can come out of here, and I'm going to show you how to connect up the VCI. So if we just take that round here, we've got this cable right here, and we've got our VCI dongle. Well, we're going to have to take this out of the pack. You can see there, it goes into basically like the tablet. So you've got obviously your VCI connector. So what you've got there is the connector side, which this side is the side you're going to want to put into that. And what we'll go ahead and do is we'll put that into here and put this like so, like that. And then you've obviously got a power lead as well, in case you need to put 12 volts to the OBD socket, because as many of you guys know, there's a lot of cars, vans especially, where they don't power up as soon as they're plugged into the OBD socket. Obviously the cars we use are, but there is some that ain't, so you need to power this device up separately to get a signal to the OBD socket, especially if there's a problem with the ECU or whatnot, or the car not being able to provide the 12 volts to the actual VCI. Then therefore you've got the power option here to be able to do that. Something a lot of people ain't aware of, and that's really good that they've even added this, because you guys know how many tools I've got, how many launch ones that don't provide this, and now they're starting to provide this. And like I said, many people won't be aware of what that's for, but I am fully aware of what that's for, because I've come across many vehicles where the OBD port doesn't provide the 12 volts, even with the ignition on, and you need to provide it to it itself to be able to make this work. So we're going to go ahead and plug this up to the car, and I'll show you how this scan tool works. Okay, so the first thing I've noticed is, obviously, as you can see here, the lights are powered on because it's got a connection to the car from the VCI. But the one thing I have noticed is the lead just isn't long enough. Like, you'd want to sit this on the seat or somewhere. They haven't made the cable long enough for the VCI, so it just literally has to basically go on the floor like that, which isn't ideal. They could have made long enough where it can come out the window, because obviously it's Bluetooth and it can end up blocking the connection. So I think that's something Launch will have to do to try and correct, is to make that longer, especially if you wanted to wander off with the scan tool and you was far away from the car. The Bluetooth connection ain't gonna hold steady, so that's one thing they need to think about doing, because that should be at least be able to get to the seat or come out the window from the car at least. But that's one thing I'm sure they'll correct after watching this video. Okay, so let's just go to Intelligent Diagnose, because I always like to see if this works And you can see here now it's going to update the VCI because it's detected the VCI has been plugged up, which is normal for all launch tools to do this. This is perfectly normal. So if you see the screen pop up, it's normal. It's updating the VCI to the latest version as the same UI on the tablet. And you could see what I meant, guys, by the VCI, how it powers on BMWs, but there's some cars where the VCI just won't power. So you have to add a separate power source to the VCI to make it power. That's very common. And like I said, I've come across many vehicles like that, a lot of vans especially. You can see there now it's going to read the VIN. So this is what I like to see, if it actually reads it accurately. Sometimes launch does, sometimes launch doesn't. When it does, it's good. When it doesn't, it's a bit of a pain because you have to go through manually and select the car and everything else. You can see there, it didn't pick up the VIN. It's got a habit for doing that. So you need to go into local diagnose. Then you have to obviously go into BMW, click OK. Then it'll connect to the Bluetooth. Then we'll just wait for it to load. And then we can do automatically search from here. Because the intelligent diagnose, they need to really sort that out because it never seems to read correctly. I've tried it on many of the devices and it never reads, but when you do it through this way, it always seems to work. As you can see that it picked up the vehicle, now it'll read the vehicle data. It's just running all its checks. Now many of you will be familiar with this layout from the Launch Creator Elite as well. It's exactly the same thing. I just want to see what functions it's got for BMW. Obviously this can do a wide variety of vehicles, but again, this can probably have the same software as the Launch Creator Elite, where I know many of you will think it's not worth it for you because you've already got every function on that for cheaper, and that's all you need for BMW. But obviously, if you want to do other cars, then this is perfect for you. You can see here we've got a lot of the same system that you'll find on the Launch Scan Tool Health Report, system selection, commonly used special functions, coding and programming, system scan, special function, and anti-theft system. Now, like I said, I want to go into commonly used functions. So you can see here, these are the ones that most people commonly use, especially for BMW. These are the ones that are mostly looked up. Throttle learning, usually that's when you take the throttle body off and it starts giving a code for the throttle body. A lot of the time is when you take the manifold off. Window initialization, which is when you disconnect the battery or the battery goes dead. The anti-trap feature, the windows don't roll up and down on their own. So that resets that. Steering angle learning is when the steering angle sensor goes out, again when the battery's dead. ABS brake bleed is when you want to change your brake fluid and you need to bleed the air out the ABS pump. Transmission learning is when you want to reset the transmission cycle. So for instance, when you get a BMW, it learns how that person drives. And if you want to reset that to learn the way you drive, then you can do it through there. Electronic water pump start is when you want to bleed the water pump or check if the water pump is actually working. So many of you guys know BMWs have electric water pumps, and that's a good way to check if it's working. Register battery change, obviously it's a very common one. Many of you guys know what that one is. To register your new battery or change the AH, depending on the battery you put in. And the service reset, to get rid of all them service lights that decide to pop up or delete certain ones for emissions and things like that, that ain't even needed in this day and age. Or for instance, the inspection check, which I take off all the time. Coding and programming, let's go into here. Could be the same as what many of you guys have seen, which it is. So you've got display vehicle order, code and system list, backup, recover coding data, personalization and retrofit. So many of you guys know what all this is. Display the vehicle order will be everything on the car, all the FA, and you can edit the FA. Coding system list will be to bring up all the modules that you can code. Backup, recover coding data is if you save anything. So if you make a change, you can revert back to the old. Personalization is obviously to personalize the coding on the car. They don't give you all the options that many people want. That's something Launch need to look into, because a lot of the options you can do a lot more with other scan tools, or for instance with NCS Expert, and change what you want to change. Retrofit is obviously when you retrofit something, you can enter it in the FA and do it like you would have seen me do many times on the other scan tool when I added DAB, USB and everything to my 1 Series. So apart from that, it doesn't have programming. A special function, obviously you've got all the special functions here. It is bi-directional. Obviously you would expect that for this kind of scan tool. Battery modification and battery replacement. So you've got battery change and register battery exchange. So now they put it in a more nicer layout, easier for people to find so people don't get confused. Obviously you've got system scan, health report, special function, system selection. If we just go to obviously system scan, you'll see it just does the same thing as they all do. As you can see here, the UI on BMW is very similar to what you find on the Launch Creator Elite, which you can buy. And to be fair, I've got to be very honest, the Launch Creator Elites now have gone up to £150, which isn't as cheap as they were when I first started using them and advertising them. They went up because sales went through the roof. This scan tool, if you're going to pay £150 for the Launch Creator Elite, you're better off to buy something like this, because I'm going to tell you the price now. This one's only £300 to buy, and I think they've even got a voucher on which you can get it for less. I think 280 on Amazon, which when you work out, okay, you can buy that one just for BMW because you only do BMW. For £100 more, you can buy this one, which is Bluetooth, and it can do all vehicles, and you've got a scan tool that can basically do it all instead of the Launch Creator Elite. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking the Launch Creator Elite, because the price has gone up, and because this is, bearing in mind, on the same, near the same price as that one, you get a lot more functions for another £150 than you do on one just for BMW. So does it make sense to come spend £150 on one just for BMW, where you can pay another £150 more, get this one, which is Bluetooth compatible, which is good, because you don't have to sit there with the scan tool in your hand, and you've got all different vehicles, makes and models, and all different other functions you can do for any vehicle. But it's completely up to you guys what you want to do. Like I say, the scan tool is just the same as any launch one. The UI is all the same. Nothing's changed as of yet. You can see there, it's going to beep to tell me to remove the VCI. The first layer is all the same. Everything's the same. Overall, it's a good scan tool. Launch don't make any crap scan tools, as many of you guys know. Launch are on par with Alltel, Snap-on, all of the businesses out there today. Like I said, I have realized other companies have been going downhill. You guys will know already I'm talking about. From time Launch are now constantly sending me these other companies that I used to do a lot of. Are no longer. It just shows you what companies are still around, what companies have gone downhill. Launch, I think, are going to be there for many, many years to come. They've been doing well. They've always got a new scan tool coming out. And other companies just can't compete with them. But yeah, overall, this is a good scan tool. Launch don't do any crap scan tools, as I said. So if you do want to check it out, I will link it in the comment box below and pin it in my description box for you guys to go and check it out. But like I said, it is up to you guys. I preferably, if I saw this and the Launch Creator Elite and the price of the Launch Creator Elite compared to this, I would probably end up buying this purely because it can do all vehicles, and in that way I'm not limited. Where, because you've got to think, if you did want to change, you've got another vehicle and you only got one that does BMW, then you're kind of screwed, really. You'll have to buy another scan tool anyway, which you've got to think a scan tool's around £100, some of them 90. You add that onto the 150 you bought, you could have bought this. So it doesn't make sense realistically. So here it is, guys. I've just now shown you and reviewed the Launch CRP919X BT. Now, many of you, as I said to you, have been requesting me to do this purely because it's Bluetooth compatible, and obviously it was one of their cheaper scan tools, which is very nice and robust. I must say the tablet is really nice. Sturdy, strong, nice and weighted. But yeah, it packs a lot of features for the average person that's going to need this for garage use, or, you know, even a home DIY, especially if you've got a lot of different brands and cars. This is really good. The only thing I can say is this Launch, if you're watching, this needs to be extended. This cannot go on. This should be able to come out of the window of the car, especially because I know Bluetooth, their signals are not that strong anyway. If I was to walk anywhere around my shop and leave this on the floor of the car, it's going to lose signal, and that ain't good. You've got to factor in, if you're coding, Bluetooth is risky as it is. You don't want this to lose signal, especially while you're doing any coding or anything, and then it ends up corrupting all the coding file on the car or damaging the module in the process. Obviously, it's not programming, but if they were to ever release programming as well, this needs to be sorted. This cannot be very short like this. I would extend it by at least, you know, I don't know, another 2-3 foot at the most if they have to, but this is too short for where it needs to be. It shouldn't be sitting on the floor, because, like I say, it will pick up a bad signal, and I know there's going to be people out there that will end up getting this and end up having issues because of that reason. They'll walk off and the tablet won't be connecting. So yes, this is the only thing I can really say that needs correcting, is the cable length. Apart from that, great scan tool as always. Launch always deliver on what they say. Like I say, the scan tool, can't fault it. If you guys want to check it out, it will be pinned in my description box below. Thank you very much for watching, guys. It's BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.